Welcome back to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio right here on AM 920 The Answer. My name is Cleve Gaddis. You're listening to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio, and we're here to make real estate clear and simple and really worry-free if we possibly can. And if you want to connect with us, it is really simple. Go to Go Gaddis Radio, GOGADDIS radio.com. You can ask questions, make comments, you can push back or challenge things we say. You can share ideas, ask us to do some additional research on your neighborhood and include you in our neighborhood spotlight. And you can subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel. We have one of our favorite expert advisors on with us this evening, or this morning, I should say, Joe O'Kelley, who's the managing partner of O'Kelley Sorohan. How are you, Joe?
Very good, Cleve. Always fun to see you.
Yes, it's always fun to have you on, and I always appreciate you being here. I read an article not too long ago that there's a builder, a decent-sized builder in Georgia and South Carolina, who has sold houses, and the people who have bought the houses learned after the fact that some of the subcontractors that had done work on those homes had liens on that home. And I can't even imagine being a homeowner, all excited about buying my new home and getting everything together, getting my down payment, going to closing, doing all the things that I needed to do. And then all of a sudden learning, 3 months down the road, 2 months down the road, 6 months down the road, that, my gosh, in order for me to have a clear title to this property, I need to pay off some stuff. So I wonder if you can set this up for me and for everybody. And I'd love to kind of give you a scenario. When I used to buy properties.
This is a good reason for buying title insurance and going to somebody who gets title bulletins and pays attention to what's going on with title when you do closing.
Well, you shouldn't jump.
That's my pitch right there.
You shouldn't jump right into a commercial for yourself. But it is totally true, by the way. I'm sorry. No, it's totally true. So when we used to do rehabs, we buy property, spend $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 fixing it up. I'd have different subcontractors that would do work for me, and I would have them sign something, or I would sign something that was called a lien release waiver. How does that work? So a builder's building a home, they have a bricklayer, and they have somebody doing all the framing, and they have somebody doing the plumbing and the electrical, and they're paying those people. And a person who buys that home would expect all of those subcontractors to have been paid. So how does it work? I mean, how does that whole process work?
The material men is what they're called,
okay,
right? The ones who are doing the things you said, whether it's the chimney or the, painting or roofing.
Right.
So they'll extend credit to the builder for a certain period of time.
Right.
By basically saying, we're going to go out and do this. And so they basically have material men work on the property. If they're not paid, then they're like, okay, well, I need to file a lien, because if I don't get some kind of protection, they're going to sell this house and I'll never get paid.
Right.
And so they stake their, flag in the ground saying, I'm not getting paid. I'm going to start putting liens. And of course, they'll be talked out of it by the builder, but material men nowadays are like, no, this is too long. And so they have to do it within a certain time frame anyway, so they get on it.
So
they don't want to mess up the relationship with the builder, but at the same time,
they want their money.
They want their money.
So in Georgia, if I was a plumber and I did work on your property and you didn't pay me, how long would I have to record that lien? Is there
I think it's like 90 days maybe, or something.
90 days.
From the date of commencement, there's
from the date of the work, from the date of the work started. Okay. And then how long is that lien good for? Because if I remember correctly, they're not good forever. They have to be renewed. How does that work? Do you remember?
1 year.
1 year.
And so they'll need to bring it to suit, to a judgment, right?
So you can't renew it. You have a year, and then you have to file in court against them to collect the money. Is that it? Oh.
Yeah. You turn it into a true judgment. So you can have a materialman's lien that sits there and needs to be paid off, but if it goes past a year, it falls off. So you have to convert that into a judicial action other than just placing a lien on the property.
So you could take them to small claims court, or you could file in superior court, or whatever you need to do, I guess, depending upon the size of it. So let's say I'm the plumber. I did work on your home, And I said it was $15,000 worth of work, but you said to me, and we agreed that it was only $8,000 worth of work. I'm just making this up. And then I go and record a materialman's lien against your home for $15,000. What defense do you have as a homeowner, or what defense would a builder have if somebody filed liens that would be kind of fraudulent?
Two separate kind of paths there. So the builder, let's say they're getting squeezed, or however you describe that. And so the builder they basically will say, listen, if we can't figure this out, I'm going to bond off that lien. So they can go to the sheriff and pay a cash bond equal to what the lien amount is and go fight about it.
Okay.
Or they could do like a bonding company, like a jail bonding company. They could pay a bonding company to do that. So that would seal off that, which makes the title fine to move forward to have title insurance. What can a buyer do? Well, same old thing, my commercial. Hey, good attorney, title exam. Now, the title exam, there are blind spots, I call them. There's a gap period where somebody, the material lien, will show up, or we'll run title, let's say, on the 2nd of the month, and we'll close on the 22nd, but we don't update title. We can't update title every day because the clerk of superior court will run behind a little bit.
Right.
So somebody will go, let's say on the 18th, they'll file it in the courthouse. 22nd rolls around, it's still not showing up. It's in what's called the gap.
Right.
And closing is done, and then there's that lien that shows up, and that's what the title insurance coverage kicks in and says, okay, that was in the gap. And then they go fight it, pay it off, and then they go try to get it from the builder or the seller.
And so everybody who's listening to this, who's been a home seller in the past, has actually probably signed a document stating, and I think it's called the gap indemnity. I don't remember what it's called, but it's stating, hey, I didn't do anything in the last couple of weeks, that hasn't been represented in what you've seen. And if I did, or if something happened, then I agree to take care of that. So I assume if that happens, then the title insurance company goes back to the seller and says, you need to fix this.
Seller's affidavit, owner's affidavit, when they sign it, they're saying, I haven't done anything.
Right.
No liens on the property you don't know about, etc. And that arguably covers it.
Okay.
But there's a specific gap indemnity agreement that goes a little bit further that says, hey, nothing out there you hadn't paid for, nothing you hadn't done in the last 90 days that you're not gonna pay for.
Right.
You swear, and that's what that is. And if you swear and then you turn around and it happens, you're gonna indemnify me, means pay the money back immediately, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's more like, 2 handshakes instead of 1 handshake, right?
Right.
So.
Right, exactly. So I want to circle back for a second.
Yeah.
And then when we're finished, I want to make sure people know exactly how to get in touch with you. If I filed that $15,000 lien when it should only be $8,000, then is that illegal in the state of Georgia to do that, to file a fraudulent lien? And would you have a way as a homeowner or a builder or a seller to actually fight that and prove, no, that's not what we agreed to. We agreed to something different? Because it seems like you could record a lien for $15,000. You only owed me $8,000, and now I've messed up your sale and have the ability to collect $15,000 when that's not the agreement.
I could answer your question in two ways.
Okay.
You can't. I can't just go put a lien on your house. That's kind of like slander, right? And the terminology.
But you can go record it. So like I could go record tomorrow a lien on your house. Like I could just go do it.
My point though is I can't do it without it being a lie, slander.
I can't. Okay, got it.
So slander is saying lies about people.
Got it.
And that's what you call it, slander of title.
Okay.
So I go stick a lien on your house, I'm lying. The slander brings it into criminal. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how you do it. And so the other way you went was it was legitimate, just a disagreement about price. More difficult to prove slander. They could say mistake or I thought it was 15.
Just
That's
an accounting error. Yeah.
Error.
Yeah.
So you gotta, there are 2 different kinds of ways to do it. One is you have no rights at all.
Right.
The other is, mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
This is such interesting stuff, and you're going to stay with me the next segment, right?
okay,
Good,
yeah.
because I want to
look
keep
forward to it.
talking about this. I want to talk about what happens when the market gets a little bit tough, especially with builders selling homes and how they might get behind. But I want to just real quickly, you've been a real estate closing attorney for how many years? I know that we have used you personally, me, for like almost 20 years. How long have you been a closing attorney? Because you were a closing attorney for 6, 8, 10 years before then, right?
No, I mean, I went back to law school 26, 27 years.
20.
Something like
Okay,
that.
so you had been an attorney for 6 or 7 years when you started, and that's all you've ever done is you've been a real estate closing attorney right here in Metro Atlanta. Now, am I correct to say you have 30 offices throughout?
30 offices. I also have litigation. I also have, commercial real estate and business law.
And I think you
You
do
know, we
some
do wills, trusts, and estates.
Yeah, estates.
So we're growing in
Yeah.
a lot of different directions.
Exactly. And so when somebody has a question about a closing or about an estate something or about, I would assume that your attorneys are willing to have a conversation with someone for free up front just to kind of understand whether or not this is a situation you could help them with. Is that correct?
Yes. I always tell people it's kind of like a retail business. You got to get to know us, and
Yep.
we're very retail friendly. And when it's time to buy, you'll buy. But we do a lot of talking and very little looky-loos in
Yeah.
the retail world. But
Yeah.
people come in and they ask questions, and we're pretty open.
Good.
But then, when it goes a little bit further, we'll say, listen, you need to engage us, or you need to go put us on the contract or something like that.
Yep, and my recommendation is that if somebody wants to reach O'Kelley and Sorohan, that's Joe's firm, they call 770-497-1880. That's the number to the main office. If you're in Ackworth, they'll get you hooked up with someone over there, or whatever it is, they'll get you somebody in your area. Joe, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to still talk about liens. We're going to talk about new construction and a couple of other things title related that might keep people up at night. So stick with us. We'll be back.